I actually just signed an offer. I was supposed to be at my friend's Valentine's party, and I am instead sitting at home because while I was walking my dogs earlier, I tripped and fell and sprained my ankle. I don't know if you can see how swollen my foot is right now. It's all red and swollen like all over this side right now. So yeah, I'm just all by myself, all sad and grumpy and feeling major FOMO. It kind of reminded me this year is the year of the snake, right? And one thing that's kind of interesting, if you are like into zodiac signs at all, I'm not really, and I definitely brushed it off when I first heard it, but I'm born in the year of pig, right? So I'm a pig, and this is a year of snake. Snakes and pigs don't really mix together, and it's kind of like the pattern with all the zodiac signs where every 6 years, or anybody who's like 6 years or multiples of 6 years apart from you are like not a good match. And I don't know how I found out about it, but I was kind of like researching the year of snake just because I was like, oh, maybe I can do a fun painting about like using the snake, because snakes are really heavy with like symbolism and whatnot. So I was like, oh, I can do a fun painting, so I'm going to do some research. And then I found out that this year, 2025, is going to be one of the worst years for pigs. And I mean, the silver lining there is in the midst of all of that, there's always going to be like, it's like same thing with like zodiac or, astrology or whatever. There's always like kind of like the generalized advice. Although I believe there is some truth to it. A lot of them are just kind of like, you can kind of twist it and make it fit your own story. Anyways, just in passing, I kind of read something about this being the worst year, and I thought to myself, I don't really believe in those. That's like, haha, that's funny. And now that this has happened, I'm starting to think like maybe I should really watch out for myself and my safety this year, because here's how I sprained my ankle, and it is almost comical because of the visual. So I was walking my 2 dogs, and I normally never walk them in the neighborhood because there are cars driving by. We're right by like a really busy street. There's hardly any like grass or green area on the walkway. So normally, and when I say normally, I mean 100% of the time in the past, I just drove them both to a park away from the cars. Another reason being that my younger one, Sage, she is, I don't know how or what happened, but she's somehow traumatized by cars. So she's always been like that since she was a puppy when we first got her. Anytime there's a car driving by, she will freak out. Which is why, again, going back to my point earlier, that I never did this before. For some reason, today I got up and decided, hey, wouldn't that be really nice if I could just walk around the neighborhood with my dogs instead of having to drive and go to the park there, walk around, go back to it's not that bad, but it is an extra step. So today I was just kind of like feeling that, and I was also thinking like, just how nice would it be if I could just do that with my dogs? So I take them out, and right from the get-go, Sage just kind of like freaked out, nervously like walking left and right, back and forth, getting like wrapped up around like a random pillar on the road, on the street. And I'm just like, this is fine.
This is fine. I'm okay with the events that are unfolding currently.
We'll just go to the end of the block and then we'll walk back. And obviously it's not going to be enough. So maybe once we're back, we can go to the park after. Literally, while going through that short distance, a big truck drives by, and Sage absolutely loses her mind. She's going around in circles, going back and forth. She got stuck in a bush, and while she's running around wild like a chicken, she gets all tangled with Blue. So both their leash are like all tangled together. So I'm also like trying to untangle everything and also making sure that I don't trip over the leash in the middle of all of that. One thing I didn't pay attention to was, there's a sidewalk here, and there's like a little level, and there's like a grass area in front of this townhome complex that we were like walking by. And I didn't see that little, the little step, the little level. And I fell over to the side in broad daylight on a busy street. There's tons of cars driving by. I'm clearly losing control of my dogs, and I fall. And it was this high. I trip over, and the moment I lose my balance, I realized, oh, this is bad. I messed up. And the pain that I felt, I haven't sprained my ankle in years. I was never like a part of a like sports team. I wasn't really like an active type growing up. When I picked up boxing for a little while a couple years ago, I hurt like my hip or like my lower back from like straining my muscle too much, but nothing of this sort in years and years and years of my life. I think it's safe to say I haven't really sprained my ankle like this in like 10 years. And so I'm sitting there, like literally sitting on the sidewalk while there are cars driving by. My dogs, all of a sudden, they're concerned because their mama's just sitting in the middle of the sidewalk, not moving. So like Blue's coming over, he's like licking my face, looking concerned. He's just like checking up on me like, hey, you good? You good, Mom? And then so I was like, and I was so close to the house. Like we were literally maybe like 500, 600 meters away from the house. And I've lived in the States for 15 plus years, actually more, like longer than I lived in Korea at this point, which is a wild thing to say. Metric system is still like my preferred method, I would say. Anyways, so we're literally so close to the house. If I looked back, I could still see the garage. I could still see like the side of the house, right? And I'm just sitting there. The moment I fell, I just kind of gave up. Like, that was so embarrassing. The shame I felt and the pain, like I didn't even know what to do. So I called Uber, and then I messaged them like, hey, so I just sprained my ankle while walking my dogs, and I have 2 dogs with me right now. I hope that's okay. And 2 rides back to back canceled as soon as I said that. And I was just like, okay, so am I just gonna sit here? Or am I supposed to like drag myself back home because it's hurting so much? I really didn't think I could do that. And then finally, the third guy, I was like, okay, maybe I need to like change the way I word it. So I was like, hey, so I was like walking my dogs, and then I sprained my ankle. Like, I just need a quick ride back home. I have 2 dogs with me. If that's like okay with you, I would really, really appreciate it. It's a really short ride. And then he's like, okay, that's cool. So honestly, he made my day. He's the savior, because I called my friend too, and she was also in the middle of things because she was preparing for the Galentine's that I was supposed to be at right now. Anyway, so she was like really busy, and she's like, okay, yeah, like send me your location. And then in the middle of all that stuff, like this guy's just like, yeah, that's fine, I'll come pick you up. So he comes, and I get in, and I was like telling him like, hey, so everybody else kept canceling my rides. You're the first person to just like take the ride. And he's like, yeah, I'm pretty sure there's a way you can mark on the app that you're with dogs, and which makes a lot of sense, right? I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, that'll explain like why people were rejecting it, because I don't know, maybe they thought I was like a freeloader or whatever. And I was like, oh crap, like I'm so sorry, like if I didn't know that was a thing. If I knew, I would have done that. So I ended up tipping him like $20 for like literally less than a minute of a drive. And then he dropped me off right in front of the garage, because I was like, can you get like as close as you can to the garage, because I really can't walk right now. And so I've just been home icing my ankle and just not doing anything. So you're the snake. You got me. The snake just bit me on my ankle in an effort to turn this traumatic experience into some sort of mildly productive experience, I picked up this book, Sophie's World. And this is a book that my coworker recommended a year ago, because I was like, hey, do you have any like philosophical like book on like philosophy that I can like get into? And I was like, I haven't really read anything in a while. I've only read like practical like nonfiction books, but I want to get into something that's not like a business or self-help book, something with like a story, something that gets me to think. And I also want to get into philosophy. I remember like I used to love that as a kid, and this is the book he recommended. And a whole year later, I'm finally starting to read this book. So I'm on page 88 right now. It is already 5:30 because this incident happened at like 11 a.m. in the morning. I've just been on my phone icing and like literally just adjusting to this new life because I can't go anywhere. I was hanging out at the couch in the living room earlier, and then I had moved over to the bedroom because I was like, well, the bathroom's too far. My charger's in the bedroom, like everything's so far. But now after almost 5 hours of just like lying down on my bed, I'm bored out of my mind. I can't just sit there and like doom scroll. So let's see how far I get with this book. I mean, technically I could probably also update my portfolio site, paint, but you kind of have to stand up and like move a lot when you're painting. I mean, it's just, it's a lot of walking and standing, a lot of stress on your ankles. So I think the easiest way to just chill and also establish good habit is to just read. So I'm gonna stop yapping and get to reading, but I just wanted to give you a quick update. And I'm like back in my pajamas. I was like all dressed up, super cute this morning. I like went to a coffee shop earlier. I also read there for a little bit, but I also brought my Switch there. I was playing Hello Kitty Adventure for like an hour there. And then I came home to walk my dogs, and the rest has just been this. Anyways, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.